Mark Caboli with The Athletic. Mark, go ahead.
How much is it involved with Ben Roethlisberger, or how much is it would be involved with more of the, younger guys with Rudolph and Duck and those guys? Is an even match, or are you more worried with the younger guys?
Obviously, Ben's got 17. This is the 17th camp coming in, so he's certainly got a lot of experience. I'm gonna do whatever I can do to help assist him, whatever he might need me to do. But obviously, the younger guys are different. They don't have as much helmet time and playing experience. So working with everybody, but there's certainly a difference. I respect see what your question's saying, and there's a difference there. His history with Randy, he's been with Randy a long time, and I'm just kind of coming in to facilitate what I can in any way with him, but then also with the younger guys.
Brooke Pryor with ESPN. Go ahead, Brooke.
Hey, Matt, thanks for doing this.
Sure.
Talking about the younger guys, from what you've seen of Mason Rudolph on film and the amount that you've been able to work with him so far, even, just limited and in the virtual offseason, what kind of things are you seeing from him that can help him take a step forward this season, even if, he's not the starting quarterback again with Ben back? What kind of areas have you identified that he can improve to, maybe take over as the starter in the future?
Obviously, experience is huge, and everybody doesn't get that. So certainly for last year, that wasn't what was scripted or what was planned, but he was able to get that experience, and he's learned a lot from it. We have had a lot of film time to study what went on last year, what we could maybe do better, what we can see, what he did well that we can try to. Obviously, you want to magnify strengths and minimize weaknesses. So those things that we did well, we want to keep trying to find those plays, those concepts, and the things we didn't do as well. We either want to correct and improve, which we're going to do, and also minimize how many times we do it. So he's certainly got a great desire to learn. He certainly has a great desire to get better, and is excited to get back going like we all are. Yesterday was fun to get everybody back out and get going. So I think he's excited, and he's improving all the time.
Thanks.
All right.
We'll go to Will Graves with the Associated Press. Will, go ahead.
Hey, Matt, when you left Pitt a couple of years ago, you joked about, I'm going to go retire and open up that beach bar. And I'm sort of curious, what interested you in this job, and what are the challenges actually scratch that one. What interested you in the job, first of all, and second of all, look, you saw Ben, when you were Pitt, I'm sure you saw Ben throwing the ball around. Have you noticed any difference at all between what you saw 3-4 years ago versus what you saw yesterday?
All right. Well, what interests me, obviously, it's the great organization of the Pittsburgh Steelers and everything that this place is about. And Coach Tomlin, when I was fortunate enough to get that call and a chance to work for him was something that was really, really exciting to me. I did have a desire last year when I was out. I studied the NFL and had a chance to visit some teams, and a chance to come to this level and learn more about it was intriguing to me. But obviously, you're always trying to pick the right place, and I was very blessed that this was the place that I got to come and work with the entire staff. As far as your question about Ben, yesterday he was out throwing. We got to watch a little bit there, kind of through the walkthrough. And when I was at Pitt, we would set up and I would watch OTAs and things, and was always so impressed with the accuracy of Ben. I mean, I think that's what makes him, the tremendous player that he is. They're all of his intangibles, but he's just so accurate. Yesterday, he looked just the same. Obviously, it's a question for him. I know you guys have talked to him, how he feels and where he's at. He's gauging all those things. But I certainly thought he looked really good yesterday, and I think that's what sets him apart.
Thanks.
Thanks, Will. We'll go to Ray Fittipaldo with the PG. Ray, go ahead.
Hey, Matt, how are you?
Doing great, thanks.
Hey, play action was really effective for Ben early in his career. Where does that fit in with your with your playbook, in addition to your utilization of pre-snap motion and all the things that you're known for?
Well, obviously, it's kind of a double-edged question, certainly for Ben. I mean, where I'm coming in and learning our system and learning what we've done here, and that's my job to just enhance whatever I can. Obviously, play action is a big part of things we've done in the past, but we're going to certainly focus on what Ben does well, what he's always done well, and however I can assist that, I'll do it.
All righty, let's go to Jeff Hathorn with 93.7 The Fan. Jeff, go ahead.
Hey, Matt, welcome back.
Thank you. Good to be back.
Hey, Anthony McFarland had a lot of good things to say about you after he was drafted. What can you tell us about what the Steelers are getting in him?
certainly, was really excited when that worked out for us, because I certainly have strong feelings for Ant as well. I think he's an explosive back, a dynamic back. He can take a 5-8 yard gain and make it a very, very big play in a hurry, which he's done and shown, in his play in college and the time I was with him. So I'm excited to have him around. He has been, he's excited, he's learning, he's working, he's doing everything that I hoped that he would be doing. So it's great to be back with him. And I think he's an explosive player that will, as we work through this transition of all the things that have been a challenge, I think he will find his niche and have a role for us.
Thanks, Jeff. We'll go to Mike Prizzuta with DBE. Go ahead, Trev.
We just had Ben on a minute ago, and he talked about how much he was looking forward to hearing your ideas on misdirection. We all remember what you did at Pitt. How long have you been the master of misdirection, and what do you find appealing about it?
I don't think I'm the master of much of anything, but I certainly, different time. Obviously, again, here I'm coming in and joining what we're doing here, but I've always enjoyed that part of the game, and we were doing it probably starting all the way back in 2009 or so, but certainly at Wisconsin in 2012, we started having some fun with it. So it's been part of what we've done in the past. But again, I'm coming in here and we're just more focused on, I'm just learning our system and getting going with what we're doing here.
We'll go to Jim Wexel with 247 Sports. Jim, go ahead.
Hi, Matt.
Hey, Jim.
Paxton Lynch. Paxton Lynch, big guy, can throw it 100 yards and can run about a 4.4, something like that. What has been holding him back? What are you seeing, and what's his potential?
I agree. I mean, obviously, he's got a lot of talent. He was a high draft and all those good things. And you never know at different places. Timing's everything in life. In the situations you go into, sometimes you play in a system that fits you. Sometimes you don't. Sometimes there's always other circumstances. My time with Paxton has been really, really good. Starting through the virtual part in the spring, his desire to learn. I think he has a great grasp of our offense right now, and I think he's excited to come in and compete. And he's going about it the right way, trying to learn all the time, trying to get timing with the guys, as every quarterback has to do when you come into a new situation, a new organization. So I think it's a very exciting time to watch and see how he does develop and see where we go.
Thank you.
All right. We'll go to Brian Bacco with Post-Gazette. Go ahead, Brian.
Hi, Matt. Just what's the back and forth been like so far with you and Randy? I mean, I know Mike Tomlin said a few months ago that you're here to bring some fresh ideas, some schematic ideas. So just what's that process been like, I guess, with, you also trying to learn the system, like you said, but also trying to put your own flavor in there if you can, either with Randy or with Mike to this point?
All right. It's been great for me with everybody. Obviously, Randy he's got 14 years experience. I knew Randy a little bit when I was at Pitt across the hall there. I came over and visited him a couple times. So we've had that relationship of knowing each other. And, he's just such a good guy and a good person that we've had no trouble getting along, getting together. And we just all spring we talked football, until we had to take the break. And then it was all done virtually, which is still the same thing. We had the computers and drawing plays. It just wasn't on a board. It was on a computer and talking. So it's been great with him and our entire staff, but certainly enjoyed getting to know our system, and he's done a great job, bringing me up to speed with that. So it's really, really good. I really enjoy Randy and the time I've been able to spend with him.
Thanks, Matt.
All right, let's go to Dale Lally with DK. Dale, you on?
I'm here. Hey, Matt, you mentioned that relationship that you had from being with Pitt, with the guys across the building and the other side of the building. How much of a relationship did you have with Mike Tomlin, having been at Maryland, doing all the with the guys that you had there, and do you feel like that really helped you kind of solidify getting this job?
Obviously, Coach Tomlin is so good to everybody around. He was very good to all of us when I was at Pitt, and assisted any way you would see him as we would cross and practice and those things. We didn't have any kind of major conversations then. We talked a couple of times here and there. I was always out kind of watching, trying to study And I think vice versa. He watched us a little bit here and there. So not much really to go over other than knowing each other. And so I can't really answer that question as far as how much it had to do with him. Certainly hope what I did was something he was intrigued with to come talk. And when I was given the chance to come interview with he and Randy, I was certainly really excited about it. And I'm really, really blessed to be here. We feel like this is a great opportunity for us, and we're really glad to be back.
All righty, let's move on to Chris Adamski with the Trib. Chris, go ahead.
Hey, Matt. There we go.
Hey, Chris.
Just what is, when you've been in the college game for a quarter century, I think in coaching, this is your first time in the pros. Well, I know it hasn't been a game, it's been an odd off season. But what are the differences, or what do you plan on doing differently, if anything? And is there any awkwardness whenever the main guy you're coaching is a 17-year NFL veteran who, may or may not, have anything new to learn or any tips to take?
Yeah, I think that's where, I'm letting Ben, Ben does have that. Ben has obviously way more experience than I could ever imagine in the NFL. So I'm listening. We've talked reads, concepts, and those things, how he's done it, what he's done. And I obviously am learning from he and Randy. And if there's anything, another way to see something with he, or even more importantly with the younger guys, then I'm just trying to take that and go. I think football, football is football in a sense, but it is a different game. I did have this aspiration last year when I took the year off, and I did study. I wasn't sure where I was going to go, so I would kind of spend the morning studying college and the afternoon studying the NFL. So, the game is different. There are certain parts of it that are different that I have tried to learn, and I certainly have a long way to go, and that's why I'm excited where I'm at. I'm in a position to learn. I'm able to, to assist Randy in any way I can, to assist the quarterbacks any way I can, and just be part of the group. So, again, really excited about where I'm at in my role.
Thanks, Chris. We'll move on to Tim Benz with the Trib. Tim, go ahead.
Yeah, hi, Matt. I was curious if you do give feedback about concepts and things of that nature. When you're at Pitt, you had a quarterback in Nate who ran pretty well, maybe underrated in how he can move in your system. Ben doesn't do a lot of that. How much of some of the jet sweeps and motion ideas are incumbent on a quarterback who does move, and how can that be effective if you don't have a quarterback that runs with the intent of gaining yards beyond the line of scrimmage all that much?
Well, I think, you talk about that. I mean, how much every place you're at is different. The system you run is based on your players and what they do well. So in my history, it's really nothing relating to now. We've had quarterbacks who run, and you mentioned Nate. He ran a little bit here and there, but we always had it protective. So, not really a great correlation for me with that coming here. But I think, again, coaching Ben and his style, whatever input I have on that, I will be involved in what he does well with Randy and what Ben likes, and then incorporating that back. And I think that's more my job, is then taking what we do and looking at the other quarterbacks. And, okay, from this, what do you do well? So when your time comes to play, again, we're focusing and majoring in what they do well in our system. So I think that's probably what I'm hoping to bring to the room with those things as we go. And obviously Ben, Ben's strengths are awesome, or he wouldn't be the player he's been. So we're going to continue to do what he does well.
All righty, we got time for a couple more. We'll go to Aubrey Bruce with the Sentinel. Aubrey, if you're on, go ahead.
Hi, Matt. Good to talk to you. First of all, I asked Coach Fichtner the other day, I said, did he have a contingency plan just in case multiple athletes might be infected with the virus? And usually you only develop maybe 2 quarterbacks behind the starter. So does that put pressure on you to develop more than 2 guys behind the starter in the event that you might encounter some sort of a COVID-19 scenario?
Well, obviously, I think that's true at every position. And obviously, the number of quarterbacks that we're going to work to develop will come from places higher up than I am. Anybody that's in my room, I'm going to coach and try to prepare to be ready to play. That's my job. I think but I don't think it's unique to the quarterback position. Obviously, we talk about quarterbacks a little bit more, but every position in our building right now, I think Coach Tomlin and all the way up to Mr. Rooney and Kevin, the job we've done in preparing and trying to navigate and fight this virus has been so impressive to me. And we are taking every precaution, from Zoom meetings, even though we're in the same building, to all kinds of different things that we're doing to make sure that we are protecting our entire organization and all of our players the best way we can. So, however, right now there's 4 quarterbacks that are in our room, and I'm working very hard to make each of them the best quarterback they can possibly be, and that would be the case either way.
All righty, we'll wrap it up with Noah Strackbean of Sports Illustrated. Noah, go ahead.
Hey, Matt, thanks for doing this. So obviously the offseason super complicated, brings a lot of challenges. How much of an advantage is it to have a quarterback room where everyone has starting experience?
I think it's an unbelievable advantage. I think, when you look at, obviously, it's my first time in the NFL, but, when you don't have a preseason game, to have that time to go out and kind of figure things out, you're coming back with the great experience we have at quarterback, the great experience we have with our head coach, with our offensive coordinator, with so many players. And as you mentioned, all our guys in my room have played and have great time in an actual game and starting the game. So I think it's a great advantage for us. Obviously, I feel really good about where we're at. The opportunities we have through this offseason, everybody's got the same challenges. So they're really just opportunities, and we're all making the best of it. And we're excited it's been great to get on the field. And we're going to continue to go through the protocols and the challenges and opportunities they give us to get better. And here sooner than later, we're going to start playing real football, and we're going to be ready to go when the time comes.
All righty, we'll sneak one more in. Aditi with NFL Network, if you're on.
Sorry. Hi, thank you so much.
Yes, sir, no problem.
For the noise in the background. We just talked to Ben about the year away and how it really helped him in a lot of ways to sort of get a little bit of a remove, kind of the view from 20,000 feet away. So you spent a year away. How did you spend the year? Did you, after this many years in coaching, did that affect the way you approach the game at all?
Yeah, I had a great year away as well. I was able to do a couple things. One, as a football coach, I've got, one daughter just graduated from college, but I got to go to 2 parents' weekends for my daughter at South Carolina and my son in East Carolina. Got to take my wife on some trips here and there. Got to do some, a great 50th anniversary for my parents over Thanksgiving. So all things you don't get to do as a coach. My coach at Indiana, Bill Mowry, passed away a couple of years ago, but I talked to his wife, Mrs. Mowry, often, and she had the best advice I got. She said when Coach went from Colorado to Northern, he had a year off, and he looked at it as kind of a halftime to kind of prepare for the second half. And so that's what we did, and we certainly made time to enjoy life, as I mentioned, but I was fortunate to be at 2 NFL camps or 2 NFL teams for a little bit of time to learn and watch it because it was something I was interested in. I also went to, a few colleges that had me come. So I stayed very active in that. And as I mentioned earlier, I would watch college film in the morning and NFL film in the afternoon and kind of had a set routine. So obviously when you're not installing an offense and getting guys ready and game planning every week, the ability to sit back and, hey, that's a really good idea. That's a better way to do that. So I thought it was a great year of growth for me as a coach, as a person, and all things. And now to get a chance to come to the league and be in this organization and learn from so many other great guys, I feel really fortunate about that. And I'm just continuing to enjoy it and learn.